Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hello, my friends. Many times I have told you there is nothing really to attain. You're struggling, hoping to reach a goal, hoping to attain something. And I say often, what we are looking for is already here. It is now. It's not something that is ever lost. We just forgot about it. But the fact that there is nothing to attain doesn't mean, okay, then let's just be lazy about it. Like Daniel told us last time that somebody told him, well, anyhow, at the end of the kalpa, at the end, not of the kalpa, of the creation, at the prachlaya, then everything will be leveled out. So why do something? Okay, why do something? Because we can learn to exist even in the human form without suffering. We can learn to get rid of all that which is preventing us from being aware of what is here. To make an effort doesn't mean we have to make an effort in order to attain something that is not there. The effort is to become aware how much efforts we are wasting, making all the time to create our tensions simply because they are there out of habit, old patterns, conditionings that we build up when growing up. It makes so totally sense to make that the effort, at least that little effort, to keep on reminding ourselves, hey, come on, be here, be now, be alert, connect, relax in that as good as we can. And as long as the mind is full of tensions and full of restlessness, it seems to be a tremendous effort, but actually we just have to go about it. It is not an effort grinding our teeth. If somebody wants to do so, they can do so. But what matters is that we just remind in one way or another, remind ourselves to be consciously alive here now and learn to relax in that. And we can do that quite relaxedly, quite playfully, or we can do it with a lot of tensions. But then we have to become aware there we are creating new tensions, and those also we have to gradually let go. And then some patience is needed for most of us. Those barriers that we have built up, they may have their own strength and they may not go from one day to another. Although we know better, the tendency is to slip again and again into the old patterns. Although we decide not to do so, when the situation comes, then out of habit, boom, there we go again. Let's not get disheartened when this is happening. Let's not get desperate, but just, okay, it's still there. The force of it is still there. It overwhelms me when I'm not attentive. When the situation comes, the old habit takes over. But the moment we become aware there, we can let go instead of reinforcing it, instead of thinking, yes, I'm totally right to function like this. It's not a question of being right or wrong on this level. It's a question of becoming aware how much we are hurting ourselves and then learn not to do that anymore. And this, it's worth the trouble to do relentlessly. It's the one most valuable thing in this world. It's the one thing that makes the most sense, that we, once we have understood it, that we put our attention as good as we can on that of just be observative, become aware how the attention is always wandering off in the past, in the future, in dream worlds, in fantasies turning round and round, instead of being consciously aware. Now, instead of learning to just be, no matter what approach one is using, no matter what path one is on, no matter whether one is more a devotee or more a yogi or more a jnani, it's worth the trouble to just remind yourself, come here, now, here, now. Is that only one split point where we are touching reality? All else is in the mind. And in the mind, we are creating all those tensions. In the mind, we are creating all those resistance. In the mind, we are creating all the suffering. And simply thinking, anyhow, everything is already there. One can superficially get a little peace by thinking like this, but as long as we are functioning in the usual old contradictory manner, then we're still creating suffering. And we need not suffer. Suffering is something that is unnatural. And it's not the terrible world out there that creates our suffering. Oh, the terrible world is doing a lot to create troubles. Definitely. Right now, so many people are in terrible circumstances, but the real suffering is happening when we are in a circumstance that we don't like and we totally resist. And then it keeps going round and nagging and really drawing all our energy into a whirlpool. That life, everything becomes heavy. The little things become already tremendous and big, and we need not live like this. So I will always continue to say we need not attain anything. What we are looking for is here. It's now. It's timeless, spaceless. It has been before we were born as a human. It's now. It will be, even if this human form disappears. We just forgot it. But in spite of it being here, as long as we creating all those illusory half realities, all this stuff in the mind that creates pain and suffering, it's worth the trouble to make that effort to remind ourselves, hey, come, bring the attention back here, now, and relax. On and on. Gradually, it becomes easier. Sometimes it will start to happen all by itself, effortlessly. And it's just in touch with that relaxed, that ease, at peace. Then the old habit takes over again. There we go again. And we have no other way to go about it, but to consciously bring it back again and again. And those who are doing so will start to experience it, that it's happening by itself sometimes. Sometimes for a longer period. And then there may be again a difficult period where it's not easy, where one forgets all the time, where there is again the old habit creating problems and suffering is there, but don't get disheartened. Just keep on reminding yourself, come back home, here now, timelessly. There is no suffering. There's no space for suffering. Here now, there is just that beauty of existence, full of bubbling joyousness. It's never absent, we just have to become aware of it. And to become aware of it, we just have to stop preventing it. And we prevent it with all this self-important stuff that we are holding on to. It's not just, it's not right what is happening to me. Why is it happening to me and the others? Simultaneously wanting to do this and do the opposite. If we learn to let that go, then life starts to arrange itself. And even in difficult periods like now, we can live peacefully. Sometimes externally, the peace will be shattered, but the stronger you are rooted in your own awareness of that aspect that is not affected by it, the more peaceful is life, even in dire circumstances, even when there is a lot of external tensions there, even there, if there is a lot happening that we don't like, we need not suffer. We need not make us suffer. We can live in that peace. And that peacefulness is full of joy. And the longer we live in that, the more we are capable of fully relaxing in that, the more we become aware how much joyousness is there. And it's intensifying and intensifying, and there is no end to it. May you all live like this. Okay, I stop talking by myself. Is there anybody who would like to come in? You're welcome to do so.
I am Werner.
Hello, Maria.
No. I wanted to share a couple of things where I feel there has been good progress, and to ask for your comments and basically encouragement to keep going. Yeah. One of them, the most beautiful one, is at the very beginning of the meditation, the starting moment. I've been practicing this meditation for 6 years and a half, and I've done it regularly, basically every day, morning and evening, with very, very rarely not doing it. And I've experienced enormous amount of anxiety at the beginning of the meditation. It's like one part of myself obviously wants to do it, because otherwise I wouldn't do it.
Yes.
That's, thank God that won. But then there is the other side that is terribly anxious, and it's all this, I won't be able to make it. I don't know, this is not meditation, you know. What is looking for technique, and my teacher hasn't given step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at all. You know, you get the mantra and very few, very simple instructions. So it was like a massive struggle at the beginning of the meditation. And by grace, it happens.
Yeah.
And somehow something happens. And then changes happen, healing happens. So what has happened lately is that anxiety has been reduced dramatically at the beginning of the meditation. So there is one of the things I do at the beginning, and we usually do, is to ask for a blessing from our teacher, Ratu. And I used to get so nervous at that point, like it's not going to happen. I won't know how to do it. But now it's like all that stuff is gone.
Yeah.
And so I just feel open and receptive. And I feel the energy. I feel when I ask for the blessing, energetically, something coming through. And I am much more relaxed at the beginning of the meditation. And that makes a huge difference, huge difference. So that itself, my desire is just to keep going deeper. Because I feel as if the beginning of the meditation is a rehearsal for life. It's a rehearsal for the real thing, which is the connection. And the meditation is a moment where we cut off, I cut off everything else, or I do my very best to cut off everything else and go deeper into that connection, which I'm assuming the great masters experience 24/7. So that moment has been a big relief to experience more openness and a deeper trust that I am connecting with the real. And the other thing is that I shared here in the satsang with you months ago that I could discover the pattern of my mind when I go to the bus in the morning. I have the meditation, it can be really good, I can be fired up, feeling at peace. And the moment I get to the bus stop, my mind starts churning up the fear of what is going to happen today. Something is going to go wrong, and without knowing what it is, or even not having any particular issue. But so that has also gone down. So I feel I'm coming to a kind of neutral point there, where there is no negative expectation, there is no positive, but there is a neutral point, which is a lot better than what used to happen before.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm celebrating. And so if you could please comment on that. And I just felt that I wanted to share it because it feels like a big gift. And and
right, it's good. It's good that you don't expect big dramatic things to happen. Sometimes big experiences may come, but still they are experiences. They come, they go. Don't expect big dramatic things to happen, but become aware how in the little things, how things are changing, how exactly that you build up less tensions in situations where you just habitually always build up tensions for nothing, simply out of habit of worrying about something or other which need not to be worried about at all. So it's good that you recognize that, because these are much more profound indications that you are going in the good directions than even if you had not great experiences in between. Nothing wrong with great experience. They are beautiful, they are wonderful, but people make too much a fuss about it. But if you become aware that generally you're just getting more and more relaxed, at ease, more natural, then you can be sure you are going in the good direction. So continue like this. This is certainly great to hear.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been massive contribution from you and the satsang and the questions and the answers has been. I also wanted to ask you, connected to this, about expectations, which obviously within myself, there are positive expectations. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. You know, I have my dreams, my desires, which are in many cases very positive things, and some happen, some don't happen. But there is that side that is very alive. But I seem to find a lot easier to feel positive and expect positive things from other people than from myself. I actually find quite easy to see in people the potential as a teacher, and it gives me great joy to see the potential of somebody. And when they tell me, "Oh, I'm thinking about doing this," and I can see them doing well, and so seems to be easier to do it with other people than referring to my own self.
Right. That is one main handicap, that everybody has more or less, and we have to learn to see it at all, that it is there, and then we can learn to let it go by developing that confidence in your own strength, in your own potential. And we can not simply artificially develop that confidence, but if we are observative, if we see how we are removing more and more obstacles, then automatically we become aware, okay, there is actually so much more strength, so much more capacity there all the time that I was aware of. If I stop sabotaging it all the time. And it's good to become aware, not to try to glorify the personality. The personality, we can see, is just a role we are playing in this theater. But you are prior to that. And that you that is prior to that personality, if we stop sabotaging that you, that I, then we become aware, that energy, that creativity, that beauty is simply bubbling up all the time. We just have to learn to recognize it. It's nice that you can see it in other people, but it's good to learn to feel it in ourselves. I need not always hope that something great outside is going to happen, that I can do something with myself and my life. But here, now, all the time, there is the possibility, there is the potential. I just have to learn to let go into that and let it come to the surface and manifest and express itself.
Yes, thank you. I feel what you are saying is the experience I feel I'm having now is this transition between the personality, seeing myself as a person, and to experience the channeling of grace. Because I know within myself, I can see there is nothing I own in a way. It's just pure grace. Any talent, any skill that comes through. So the idea that I have to do something about it is the one that is evolving. Yeah.
Right. The one who stands in the way, the personality have to do something about it, in the sense that we have to learn to stop standing in the way.
Yes. And I see now how meditation is what it does. Meditation dismantles the ego bit by bit. Yes. Yeah.
Point of practice is that we become more aware. That we become more aware what's going on. And the more we become aware what's going on, the more we have the possibility to avoid certain traits, certain ways of functioning intellectually, emotionally, and physically, energetically, that we know invariably if I go down that alley, I'm creating more pain and more tensions. That we learn not to do that. So meditation helps us to be more alert. That's the main point of it.
Yeah. Thank you so, so much, Werner. Thank you.
Continue like this, Maria.
Thank you. I needed that pat in the back. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hariom. Hariom. Is there anybody else who would like to come in? Welcome to do so.
Hello.
Hello, Andreas.
It's even if there's a danger that I always ask the same things, it's like it's so hard to get it into my head that, or let's put it other way, meditation is not about, in your sense, having a certain state of mind or going there, right? It's more about an attitude of not clinging to anything, of being natural and yeah, just being at ease with everything that just arises. Is that right?
Meditation means for me that consciously connecting with that sense of presence. It's not a state of mind, but of course, if you do so, the mind is getting quieter and you may experience all kinds of nice, beautiful, peaceful, joyous states of mind. But the meditation for me is simply catching the attention and bringing it back to that sense of presence, that which we are touching when I say I. Without thinking, without I'm this, I'm that, without being a person, without, oh, yesterday I do this and I have that habit, just I. That undefinable and yet so totally familiar sense of presence. Meditation is the attempt to bring the attention back to that and stay with it. Sometimes we are more successful, sometimes we are less successful. And then if you really are here now and relax in that, automatically the mind and all its work and all its troubles will change because we don't feed it anymore and it calms down. And if there is no more thought, then there is also no mind.
When I try to be with this sense of presence, this is very much connected with me to that I have to achieve something. It's very difficult for me to not like then check out, am I present now? Is this a sense of presence? So I just thought that in the last days that it is maybe better to not try to achieve anything and just be present in this with whatever arises, and not being aware when you say like be aware of the presence. It always connects to me to this is something special that I have to connect to and reach in a way.
Right, it feels like this in the mind, but of course it's not so because it's always there, the first, prior to the mind, prior to our thoughts, prior to our problems, prior to our attempts to connect. It's already there, already connected. So it's becoming more aware of what is, not achieve something. But then the mind comes in and checks and says, is this the right thing? And of course, there we go again. But when you see that, then you just redirect the attention again, even from that checking thought and simply somehow or other be. And we can use a tool, whatever tool is most efficient and familiar to us, that which we are resonating with. Simply consciously breathing is a tool like this. And relax. Simply feeling the body sensation is a tool that works. And relax. Simply asking the question, but who am I? Is a tool, and it works. Simply, like a devotee, feeling God's presence, and put the attention there instead of the question, is this now the right thing? Be with that is a tool that works, and relax in that. So we can then redirect the attention to those tools that we are using that are most, we resonate most. When we see, okay, now the mind comes in and wonders, is this now the right way or not the right way? Or whatever the mind is bringing up. Never mind. Let's not go that way. Just do it again. Feel your presence. Be, not achieve. Be. Be here now. And let go. Relax.
Relaxing means not having any resistance, right?
Right. Relaxing means to let go of the unnecessary tensions on the physical level, on the energetic level, on the emotional level, on the intellectual level.
Yeah, maybe I should ask more about like the daily life stuff that I yeah, it's when I try to practice in daily life, and I think the big thing for me should be having no resistance, because I'm full of resistance to anything. Yeah, that I always try to make myself comfortable and having nice circumstances and dreaming away in a way. And it's for example, I have resistance against cleaning my apartment. I rather do something entertaining, but the thing is just do it and no resistance, right?
Right.
Just like with it, I mean, just focus on it and just have no resistance with it. Just work it.
Right. And you will see that even those things which you dislike, let's stay with the cleaning. It's not exactly the most fantastic creative work. And yet, if you get around not to resist, and then while cleaning, you use your tool that you use in your meditation. You breathe consciously and relax consciously your body, then suddenly you start to become aware that sense of joyousness and fulfillment is equally much there, even if I externally do a chore that is not exactly the favorite on my list, what I would want to do.
Does this bring up a sense of peace and
Oh, sure.
ease?
If we are if you are not resisting all the time, then there is peace. We don't have to create that peace. We just learn not to destroy it all the time.
Yeah, sometimes I get an inkling of that, but it's very hard to get it while cleaning.
Right, but we can. I mean, it's, you do the meditation since long time, so naturally you have the habit easier there to get in that direction. And maybe in all that time you have a bit neglected to practice when you are not officially practicing. So now do so, but don't make it in a heavy task. They think, oh, another terrible burden that is there, but all right, come, let's do it. Let's try it. It's worth the trouble. With enthusiasm, a certain playfulness, and then you may have big gaps where there is not that awareness there. And then when you become aware, never mind, it's already past, but now I'm connecting again. Whether you are cleaning your house or whether you are walking on the street, whether you are in a crowd, in a train, and you don't like the crowd, and there you become aware, oh, I'm resisting to the circumstances, let me accept. I need not artificially try to like it particularly, but let me accept and not resist and breathe or whatever you are doing and relax. And then you become aware, even there in circumstances where you usually feel uncomfortable, there you can experience that same peacefulness and joyousness that you can experience sometimes in meditation, because you are in tune with yourself without resisting without focusing your attention on the circumstances and think, oh, it's not nice, I don't like it.
So the crucial part is the lack of resistance.
Yes.
And which means basically, yeah.
And the awareness of that we are doing it, and seeing that we are habitually doing it, and then consciously relax instead.
Yeah, but it's not about that. Then when I'm cleaning without resistance, that this joy and ease that comes up is, yeah, but it's not about a special state of mind, is it? That is then always there, or is that how would you say that?
It's something that is there all the time prior to the mind, which is not a state of mind. As long as we are functioning from the level of the mind becomes more peaceful, so changes its state by being more attuned to that. But that simple presence is not the state of mind, it's prior to the mind. It's there no matter what state is there in the mind.
Okay. What should I like very much, for example, I like board games, and I have several apps that you can play a board game on the computer, and I like that very much. But this is I don't know. This is this is not some kind of practice, and it's yeah. How should I relate to that? Is something that you should minimize or just do for entertainment? But then it's because you get completely lost in the game then, or can you, yeah, or you practice that with even trying to be aware while you do it?
Right? Try to make that intent. When you go for that, I can learn to be aware even there, instead of getting completely absorbed and lost in the game. And then I guess you are well advised that you just tell yourself, okay, that much and that much time, I'm ready to go for that. But then when that time is over, that you also shut it down and do something else. Not that it sucks you in and you go on and on and on, and at the end you feel, oh, great, I had maybe fun, but so much time, and feeling rather exhausted from sitting in front of the screen.
Yeah, I noticed that there's this. It's a way of an escape too. Yeah, you sit in a nice, friendly, pleasant, comfortable situation, and you do something, and most of the times I win against the computer, so that's good for the ego, and that's nice, and it's not really, yeah, in a way it's just wasting time.
Well, if you at least try to do it consciously, then it's not wasting time. So when you go for your next games, before you start the games, tell yourself, I'll try to be aware as good as you can. And then while doing the game, also breathe. Even if you are not conscious doing that all the time, then stop in between, breathe and relax. And then learn to do that even while you are playing the game. And then you are not wasting your time. But if you are just completely get absorbed, then it's a bit an escape. Never mind, once you come out of it, you can continue. But it's certainly not something that you should cultivate to get more and more and more into just escaping.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Hari Om, Hari Om.
Very profane questions in the end.
That's good. It's all coming to the same. I see Nava has opened her camera. Would you like to come in?
Yes, please. Hi, Werner.
Hello, Nava.
I had a question about myself, but before I ask, I just wanted to share something.
Yes.
I heard about some research this week, and it involved thousands of people checking a level of happiness. And what they found was there was really no connection between what they were doing and how happy they were at any moment, totally connected to how they were present in what they were doing. It didn't matter if they were on holidays on a beach or if they were cleaning their house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly what we talk about, isn't it?
Right.
Being present. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to ask you, my days have a pattern. And especially right now when circumstances are very difficult, it's even more so. I wake up every morning and I'm very, very either disturbed or anxious, or it's very heavy. It's just difficult waking up. And I go through my morning routine and I do my meditation. And as the day goes along, I'm doing things that are, on the whole, are good for me. And so I don't carry that heaviness through the day. But the morning starts the same way every morning, and I don't know what to do about what happens between going to sleep and waking up in the morning. It's as if I'm trying to get back to or getting away from that heaviness that overtakes, rather than starting off the morning a little bit better. And this is a lifelong thing with me, but it's much worse now.
Right, because so many things are there.
Yeah,
one can worry about because a lot of not nice things are happening right now in Israel. It's terrible. So no wonder. No wonder.
That I understand that part, but I also know that regardless of what's going on, I can connect to something inside of me.
Right.
Okay, and I can do that at different times.
Yes.
But again, something happens through the night so that in the morning when I wake up, it's like I have to start all over again and again and again. And that doesn't change. What's happening here is there are no words, but it doesn't change that I know that there's something inside of me that is also, I don't know.
Yes.
But even when this is happening, there's something else.
Yes. Because it was there also when things were more peaceful around, huh? Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Well, you are fortunate that you have your structure, that you can work your way out of it. Even if it feels every morning you start again from scratch, it is not like that. It's even if one feels one is doing the same thing over and over and over, it's subtly accumulating something that is building up and building up. In the midst of it, we are not quite aware. But maybe you try when you go to sleep, because then by then you have sort of overcome the heaviness you are experiencing in the morning. That you really, when you go to sleep, not just fall in your bed and somehow let the thoughts stream away, but there you keep on connecting, and you actually, you go to sleep with that sankalpa, with that intent, with that intention that you remain connected, even in sleep. That even when you're not more controlling your mind, then the subconscious opens and all this stuff comes up. And there you can intentionally go to sleep of staying connected. It's in a way good that we are letting that stuff out that is in the subconscious, but we need not get weighted and pulled down by it. So that may help you, that you have already a different vibe in your sleep, that it is less happening, that you're waking up so heavy again, starting all over to getting through that darkness that seems to accumulate in the night. But in the morning, even when it's there, then don't mind that it is there. Okay, it's there again, but I know it. It's not what I am. And simply already waking up immediately, you just spend some time, you breathe, you feel your body, you relax, and already connecting again with that which is not affected, that which is prior to that experience of heaviness. And then at least in this way, it cannot stay long, because we are not feeding it. It stays long and is heavy to slowly work the way out, because in a way, we are surrendering to it and think, oh, it's there, and feeling like a victim from it. And when you do that, that immediately, instead of getting even a little in that victim mood, you just say, okay, it's there again, but connect with that which is prior to that, that which is not affected, as good as you can, then it's going much quicker. Because if we feel a victim of it, that we have, okay, I have to do the work again, and then, then we are also giving energy to it, giving life and reality to it. But when you say, okay, it's there, but it's not what I am, bring the attention to that essence that is prior to it. Just when you wake up, remember, all right, just breathe, center in the present, relax it. And then when you wake up like this, that heaviness that comes out of habit and wants to install itself cannot really install itself. And you are not feeding it by not getting into the mode of being a victim of it.
So you're really saying it comes back to feeling like I'm a victim, that here it is again.
Yes. I mean, it will come subconsciously out of habit, and you say it's a lifelong thing, so it will come again.
Mhm.
But then there comes also the habitual response. Yes, it's there again, and okay, I have to start the work again, and okay, then somehow we surrender to the fact that this is there, and I'm sort of the victim of the situation who has to do the job to work my way out of it again. And that you can put the breaker and say, okay, it's there, but actually I'm not touched. That which I am prior to the mind is not touched, and connect with that. And then it will lose its power and come less, and eventually it may not even be there, or even if it comes out of long habit, a small trace, you're not acknowledge it as a reality, and then it cannot stay.
I'm wondering about, I said I have a routine in the morning.
Yes.
And I'm just wondering if I should change it a little bit. When I wake up, I have a glass of water. I have a cold shower because that helps me to wake up. And then I sit down to meditate. And I'm just wondering if I should just start the meditation before I do anything else. I'm not sure. I'm just thinking about that.
I think you can keep your routine as you have it. Just when you wake up, instead of, all right, my routine starts as usual, heavy, then take a moment of just being aware. Oh, this is happening habitually, and sort of taking the grip of the situation. Just take a moment. You need not think now I should first meditate. You can just stay for a moment and see, hey, there it's all happening routinely, that I'm waking up like this. It feels like a heavy burden. I accept the heavy burden, and then I'm going about it, and gradually I can lift it off. That there you learn to see, okay, there it is. But it's when you see it, it becomes an object. And then you connect. And you can stay a moment like this, yes, but you don't have to basically change your routine. If after a moment you feel, okay, I'm going to take my glass of water and take my shower and get into my routine, fine. Just don't let at first that darkness, that heaviness take control of your morning experience as it has been doing all the time. Even if you know I can work my way out, still at the beginning you accept that somehow this is like this. I cannot do much about it, but you can stop accepting, accept that it comes, but not accepting its power, not accepting that you are a victim of the situation, but that you can just learn to step out and become aware. There is in me an aspect that is absolutely not affected. This is not something you have to create. It is there. It's the reality. And then connect with that as good as you can and start your routine, daily routine in that spirit.
Okay. One more thing that's connected to this, and it's the difference between being the observer of what's happening and letting it happen in awareness. And I know how it feels, but I don't know how to put it into words.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're talking about the heaviness that I feel and how to look at it as an object.
Yeah.
Does it matter? Am I the observer? Am I letting it happen in awareness? Does that matter?
You don't even go into these questions. You just see the heaviness. You see how it is affecting you physically. See what it is doing to you physically. See what it is doing to you energetically, and start to relax. And not even start the question being the observer or being this or being that. Just be.
Okay. Okay.
And
Good.
observe the effect of it on the easiest level. See how it is affecting your body. See how it is affecting you energetically, and relax on that level.
Okay.
And see what happens.
Okay. So we're back to what Andreas was saying, the resisting. Or the letting go is just not resisting. It's there.
Right.
And
resist not that it's there again, because it's there. That's a fact. But don't accept the power of it. You can resist that habitual acceptance of that it has power over you.
Thank you.
I wish you well. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else who would like to come? You're welcome.
Hi.
Hello, Leora.
Yeah. First of all, I want to say thank you. We've been sitting together, I can't remember, I think it's 4 years here, every week, and listening to all the wisdom. And I can say I have it. I can say I don't have to make any effort now to go through to go through my day here. Very stable. Not heavy. Very clear in my mind. Very open heart. I have stayed here in the village. I left for 1 day and came back. I'm taking care of the dogs here, of the cat, and the people are not here, so I'm all alone on the farm. I have a friend from childhood who is in Gaza with her partner, daughter, and small girls. I can't even touch the pain. It's what I feel in a way is good because I know the pain is there, but I don't feel it's necessary to evoke it. And of course, there is noise all the time.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not specifically in danger here, as I think I said it, because it's a small village, and but we hear everything. We hear how they are ruining Gaza, putting it, I don't know what they do there. Yeah, I guess you understand that we have never been in such a situation. This is something, yeah. So I appreciate so much the work I have been doing. And it's possible.
It is possible, even in circumstances like this, that you become aware. Yes.
Yeah.
that there you become aware there is that aspect of you who is not affected. And the more you can do that, the more you are at peace. You're aware there is a joyousness of existence no matter what is happening. And actually, the more you are aware of that, you can radiate it. And that, especially if you connect emotionally with friends that are, God knows what kind of situation, then actually you're sending them something very precious. Worrying is not helping them, not helping you. But that doesn't mean not worrying that we just try to be blind. We can see what is happening. We can see the pain. We can feel the pain, experience the pain, and then in spite of that, be aware there is something that is not affected, that is peaceful. This world, whatever is happening, is momentarily. It's an experience momentarily. Something is there that has been prior, that will be there after this world, and is not affected by all this craziness in manifestation. And the more you are capable of diving into that and connecting with that, the more your own experience is full of joy and creativeness, no matter what is happening, and you keep on radiating it and helping others also to easier connect with that.
Yeah, the opposite of fear is whatever you have mentioned now. And I don't experience fear. And all the other qualities are somehow expressed more and more. Kindness and even sense of humor, but the heart is completely opened, and the animals feel it. The small dog of my neighbors, I can feel, he can feel it. So the dogs are now happy together. They don't attack each other. She actually, my dog actually came to him and she sort of licked him when there was something going on, and they both came to my porch and they so I'm speechless.
Right. Keep connecting. Keep being aware you're there. Something in you is not affected. Keep having faith in your own potential, in your own strength. Like that, you become like a lighthouse that is radiating and inspiring others to do the same.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, also Werner and everybody.
I wish you so much well.
Yeah, thank you.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Is there anybody else who would like to come in? You're welcome. Right. There are so many situations, many places right now in the world where it's just horror, what's going on. And for the people who live there, it is very difficult not to slip into the mood of being a victim, totally resisting the fact of the experience and then suffer hell for it. But it is also an opportunity if we have that presence, if we have that presence of heart, of mind, in spite of what is happening, I can connect. I am not vulnerable by what is happening. Even now that life is fully aware of what's going on, nothing can affect that aspect. And if we are capable of bringing the attention back to that in difficult circumstances, where the habitual reaction would be just total resistance and total pain and suffering, then that very fact that in that tension we are capable to bring the attention back to the source, to the essence, the very intensity of the situation will drive the attention so much deeper in our own resources, in our own self, and we are becoming aware there is an intensity, there is a beauty, there is a creativity, and the joyousness of existence, no matter what is happening on this material level. And actually, by the way, that's the best we can do for the level of, for the material level, for this world, because like that, a very creative, beautiful energy is being released and radiated. And the more people are doing so, the more there is support that the destructiveness is fading away and something more harmonious and more beautiful can grow out of it. Eventually it will, and we can all contribute. Again, I'm calling you. Is there anyone who would like to come in? As I have said before, it's comparable like the journey of a sadhak, somebody who goes on the spiritual path. Sometimes things may go quite nicely, harmoniously, beautiful, but there may sometimes be quite heavy trials that happen in the life of a sadhak. Something that may shatter our old reality, our perception. Sometimes this may happen and people may think, okay, all is lost, what I have been attempting in my journey, the path that I have gone, what I thought I had built up seems to fall to pieces and was all for nothing. Simply to become aware that nothing that is valuable, that strength inside can be destroyed, is gone again. And going through periods like this makes us that much the stronger, that much the more capable of connecting, of being capable to stand like a rock in a river when the water flows by and things are happening, remain unmovable. And a similar thing happens to the whole of humanity now. It's like a period of trial, and it may get worse externally for some more time. And humanity is made up of all of us. And each of us can remain unmoved. Not that we have to become cynical and laugh about it and think, oh, it's not important. No. That we can see the suffering, that we can see what goes wrong, that we can see the pain, at the same time be aware there is that divinity unaffected by it. And the more people are doing so, the more it's like the whole humanity goes back to its own resources for beauty, for creativity, for opening, for something beautiful and more harmonious can grow out of it. So it's like humanity goes through a period like this happens often to sadhaks. I mean, it may happen once in a life to a sadhak. It may also to a few never really happen so heavily. To others, it happens again and again. Difficult periods that force us to go deeper in our own resources in order to open up for greater beauty and greater creativity. Humanity is going through a thing like this, and all of us can contribute that it goes faster and less painful. And if we do so, our own experience, of course, will be more joyous, more expansive. And we have that opportunity in this intensity that is there, that is happening now, to grow so enormously fast. So it's a great opportunity at the same time. If anybody,
Werner,
yes,
yeah.
Leora?
Would you say that events, like the way you described it now, events happen like in different levels, and most of the time maybe we live on specific level, and sometimes like this time we connect to the bigger, I can say the bigger picture, but maybe the bigger level or something more. I'm trying to imagine it, like, physically.
Yeah. Yes, of course, things are happening on different levels. But what I'm talking about, we can connect to something which is prior to those different levels. But at the same time, we are consciously or unconsciously connected to different levels, to grosser, very easily perceptible, and subtler, less perceptible levels. And there is struggle on different levels, not simply on the gross levels. But if you connect to that essence, you're going to that which is prior to the levels, which is influencing all the levels.
I see, I understand. Yeah. Okay.
Hari Om. Hari Om. It's good to remember the experience, momentary experience is real as an experience. But it's fleeting. It comes, it goes. The reality that we are creating in our mind of this world is giving it more reality than it deserves. It's momentary. The reality is momentary. It's flashes, momentary flashes. And in our mind, in our memory, we are creating a continuity that makes it much more solid and more real. It may be helpful to remember, in difficult situations, it's not as real as it appears. It's a magic show. And in the magic show, there is a lot of problems going on, but it's still a magic show. Momentary there, we are tuning into it and getting richer for the experience. And if we use that experiencing capacity wisely, then that intensity drives the attention deep in our own resources. And Leora mentioned different levels. Yes, of course, there are different levels. We can consciously influence a little bit that level that we are perceiving. We may not be aware of other levels where there is also struggle going on, but we can come, everyone can come back to that essence which is prior to those levels. And if we are even attempting to be rooted in that, already we are radiating a beneficial influence on all the different levels. Even the levels that are subtler and we are not consciously aware of them, they still will benefit from that mere attempt to connect. And the more we are capable of connecting and being in that timelessness and relax, the more powerful something radiates on gross levels, on subtle levels. Being aware that it's not as real as it appears helps us to detach, not to be too much attached on the image that we are perceiving. It's still real as an experience, momentary, right now. Somebody who suffers, the experience is real. That suffering is there. The reason why we are suffering may be not so clear for that person, because we're always making the circumstances responsible instead of seeing that my own reaction to the circumstances is that which makes me suffer most. Becoming aware, reminding ourselves that the circumstances are not as real as they appear to be may help us to detach more. And then in that greater detachment, it's easier to redirect the attention back home to the self, to the source, to God, to the essence, whatever we want to call it. And learn to relax in that and get more and more rooted in that. Then for some earlier, for some later, we may become aware, okay, the whole game, the magic show is not playing simply on one level, there are subtler levels involved. And even without having known, by just connecting with that essence, already everybody is also supporting the creative, the harmonious, the beautiful on those levels too. We have comforted. You are that divinity. The expression perfect does not even mean anything, because there is nothing imperfect in that divinity. The essence of it is not changing. It's remaining the same, and yet that divinity is projecting all this in order to gain experience, in order to expand that experience of that divine essence. We have come for that, not as a punishment, but consciously, willingly eager to expand our experience of that one reality. And this world is a perfect place for that, with all the tensions that are being produced. And right now, it's a very powerful time, so let's make use of it. There are so many things we can get worried about, thinking of how it's going on, what can happen in the future. But instead of spending our time worrying about it, see what's going on, be aware of all the tensions, be aware how many people cannot see that perspective, and they are in pain and they are suffering. And in spite of that, you connect. And from this perspective, you become also aware that those people who suffer, they are not suffering in vain. It's a very painful way, but even that is accumulating something very precious, that being that goes through that will become aware that eventually that they have accumulated through their suffering something very precious that is also expanding the experience of that one essence. If we are not resisting against the fact that things are happening the way they are happening, but if we take the opportunity to make the best out of our situation from moment to moment, then we are making fully use of that opportunity we have been looking for, projecting into this world. That's what we came for, to learn, to become stronger, more powerfully, firmly rooted in that one essence, and be open to the ever expanding experience of it. Let's all do that with our full heart as good as we can. I wish you all well. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.